Bull riding is selling out Madison Square Garden just like the NBA and Taylor Swift. And it's not just a weekend show, it's part of a huge growth play for TKO Group. Joining me now, Sean Gleason, CEO of Professional Bull Riders PBR. Sean, great to have you here.
Good to be on. Thanks for having me.
Congratulations for ringing the bell. You have a big event this weekend, I know, but I have to say, I'm shocked at the popularity of bull riding. When did it become the it ticket for New York City, Boston, other key cities?
It's, I've been there 25 years, so it hasn't always been this great. First year in Madison Square Garden, we were handing tickets out on the sidewalk to anybody that would come in, and here we are, back-to-back sellouts last year and this year, 3-day sellouts. So it's been really, though, the engine that started it was when we were acquired by WME-IMG, which became Endeavor, EDR, and then ultimately now we've been acquired by TKO. And having UFC and WWE as your sister companies, you get a lot of expertise, a lot of help, a lot of support, and it just has put our growth on steroids.
I wanted to ask you about that because, I'm curious with WWE and UFC being part of the same company. Do you sit around and trade secrets about how to make sports go viral? What have you learned from those organizations that have helped you really grow?
Yeah, we absolutely do that. Our marketing teams share a lot of information. We're integrating a lot. So like from a booking perspective, when we go to a venue, WWE and UFC have probably been there as many times as we have in some cases. And so there's a lot of shared knowledge, a lot of collaboration. We were just in Stamford at the WWE headquarters and filmed a bunch of TV packages for the broadcasts, and it's an awesome opportunity for bull riding and PBR to be in the same vein as those organizations, and we share a lot of customers too. If you look at the fan bases of UFC, WWE, and PBR, there's a lot of similarities. So
what strategic advantages would you say you've had since being acquired by TKO?
Well, definitely the cross-collaboration and being able to tap into the data and the knowledge and the tools that UFC and WWE have, and PBR. We've developed a lot of systems and best practices over the course of the years. So to be able to share those things, cross-collaborate with the teams, it just leads to efficiency and marketing dollars. We don't have to spend as many marketing dollars. We're negotiating better deals in the buildings. We've got a lot of sponsorships. The TKO sponsorship group has been able to leverage what we do across UFC, WWE, and PBR. Most recently announced a big Dodge deal that was all of the properties. So it's opened a lot of doors for us, and really it's just the passion and the cross-collaboration between all of the different groups that everybody's a fan of the other sport. So we've been able to plug into that, and it's been fantastic.
Yeah, over 200 events annually with more than 1 million tickets sold, 80 million fans out there tuning in. I'm curious if you're seeing that same type of growth, selling out MSG. I mentioned you selling out Boston. What is it, TD Garden still?
Yeah.
Or are you seeing that growth outside of traditional markets?
Absolutely. I mean, we'll sell out Sacramento. We just sold out Chicago. We'll be in the Northwest later this year, and those will sell out. It's been, this very fortunate run for us of a lot of hard work built us up to this point, but we're seeing sellouts virtually everywhere we go with the tours. 5 years ago, we launched a team series that actually runs now in the summer. We took one of the most individual sports in the world in bull riding and made it a 5-on-5 team-based sport, and have 10 franchises located in Austin and Nashville and other places where they compete head-to-head in the summer months, and that tour has just been growing like crazy too. So it's just been a really good time to be in bull riding.
It's interesting because we also hear so much about a choppy economy and consumers having to pull back, and the fact that they're clearly still spending on tickets shows that they're clearly still spending money. So is it just that they're such fans, or are they just looking for this kind of wild escape?
I think it's both. I think, our core fans are going to save what they need to save to attend that event or those events that they've been attending for years. But I also think people right now are looking for great experiences, and So they save and use their money for great experiences as opposed to goods and services. And so in this experience economy that we're in, entertainment is a great place to be.
And it's not just ticket sales. You also have a streaming now with Unleash the Beast on Paramount Plus and CBS. Talk to us a little bit about that and how that helps with business.
Yeah, we've been on CBS network for about 15 years and have a great partnership with them. And now with the merger and everything that's gone on, we were able to put together a streaming deal with Paramount Plus for every ride from the Unleash the Beast series is on Paramount Plus now. And it's great to have one spot for our fans to go to get it all. And our CBS broadcasts continue to outrate a lot of other sports on the weekends. It's surprising sometimes. We don't always get the credit we deserve because we'll come out and be the second or third most watched sport on a weekend behind the NFL.
Wow.
And then, it's bull riding, though, so not a lot of people are familiar with it.
So beyond ticket sales and streaming, what's next? If I'm a fan tuning in, or, if I'm going to an event, what can I expect in 5 years from now?
Well, we constantly evolve the product. The launch of the Team Series was a complete redefinition of our business and the brand, and we took this core product and launched something very new and special. But within the scope of what we've been doing for 35 years, every year the production gets better. But at the core of it, it's about the bulls and the bull riders. Mm-hmm. And we have one of the best, most competitive fields of bull riders that we've seen ever. We have a bunch of young talent coming in. Over the years, not only do more fans pay attention, but more athletes pay attention. And so we're seeing these kids now that grew up watching the PBR and aspiring to be here. And there's a bunch of them that are really, really good. So it's an exciting time to watch the competition platform unfold.
All right, so I need a few fun facts about bull riding because obviously I'm not an expert. What's the average age of a bull rider?
Well, we see them first when they're 18, so you have to be at least 18. They'll ride, depending on injury and wear and tear. 30 is pretty old to be a bull rider. Okay. So they've got a window from their late teens into about 30 for the peak performance. We'll get a few of them that go into their 30s and do well, but those are guys that...
the Tom Bradys of the bull riding?
They stay very fit. They've avoided the big injuries that tend to nag them late in their career. And so it's a young man's sport, for sure. But the bulls themselves have evolved to be just incredible athletes compared to what they used to be. If you think about it, it's all in the DNA. These bulls are born to buck, and they have a much shorter life cycle in general. So every 3 years, you're seeing a new bull come to performance age. And so we've turned the bulls over about 15 or 20 times in my 25 years here, which means that the DNA and the breeding programs and everything have made the bulls ranker and harder to ride. But we only get bull riders about once every 18 years coming in. So, but it's really, this is a time when anybody that's a bull riding fan can see just how the quality of the riders and the quality of the bulls are coming together to make magic, because that's what the sport's all about.
Sure, and this is a competition, so what sort of prizes are the best bull riders walking away with, or hopefully walking away with?
We pay out about $10 million in this tour, and the top bull rider will make about $2 million, and on down from there. We have 3 tours in the United States that, riders are constantly trying to work their way up from your single A to your triple A to your big tour. And if you don't know anything about bull riding, it's about the bull as much as it is the rider, because the bull is scored on how difficult they are to ride. So you don't want an easy one. First of all, you got to stay on for 8 seconds. One hand in the rope.
What is one
hand in the air?
How long does the best bull rider stay on for?
8 seconds.
That's the best.
That's it. 8 seconds, the clock stops, and then the bull rider is scored, and the bull. So the bull gets 0 to 50 points for how difficult they are to ride, and the rider gets 0 to 50 points for how in control they were during the ride. So the best score and the winner of that event is the guy that rode the hardest bull, not the easiest bull.
Makes me think of workout classes where they're like, you can
Yeah,
do anything
you
for
can
8
do
seconds.
it, you
Not
can do it.
necessarily.
Yeah.
All right, so just to wrap things up, because we obviously have a lot of investors
Yeah.
tuning in as part of our audience, what's the investor takeaway here? Obviously, TKO has had a great one-year performance in terms of the stock.
Absolutely.
But, what's the investor takeaway?
I really think it's obviously we are wholly owned by TKO, and it's being a part of that play in pure sports and entertainment. And business is good. Tickets are selling, sponsorship's fantastic, and
Consumer is strong?
yeah, and like I said, I think it's one of the last things that people that affects their discretionary spending is the entertainment experiences today. So we're not seeing any weakness out in the market, and we're seeing nothing but growth.
All right, we'll leave it there. Really appreciate your insights. Thanks so much.
Glad to be here.
That is Sean Gleason, CEO of Professional Bull Riders.